What's going on, my Cardano friends? It is your friend Jack here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a Cardano DEX Maladex that is going to be taking down the traditional finance world and starting up the decentralized finance revolution here on Cardano. Just before we get into the video, if you aren't already staking your ADA, please consider doing so with the Jack stake pool to be cool, help me live in my mom's basement, earn ADA on your ADA, go get Hosky on your ADA, and help decentralize the Cardano blockchain. Now, you may or may not know, but recently there's been a lot of things happening on Cardano, namely a big DEX, Sunday Swap, has launched, and we also have another DEX, Muesli Swap, which has launched as well. These two DEXs are very great products, and I actually enjoy both of them a ton. Here's the thing though, we do have a lot of total value locked. Most of this is in Sunday Swap liquidity pools, pretty much 90% of it, 83% of it to be specific. And there is something to question. How efficient is the capital in these liquidity pools on Sunday Swap? Are people earning more than average what they're losing? Is the impermanent loss worth putting your liquidity into these farms? Now, of course, future price indicates if it goes up, then yes, it probably will be, and the yields will be greater than the impermanent loss. At least fingers crossed, that is the hope for anyone providing liquidity. But there also seems to be a lot of impermanent loss in these other altcoins, at least I'm speculating on this, that are hard to make up for without yield farming or more advanced measures in the liquidity pool to help the LP provider, okay? So I'm not going to bash Sunday Swap. Sunday Swap's great, and I really enjoy Sunday Swap, and I really like how they have liquidity pools. It makes everything super smooth and super, easy to work with, especially when you're trading with something like Hosky or CNETA. I swapped for both of these. Once a transaction gets through, it gets scooped up in a matter of 10 minutes or less, and there's no one that I have to I don't have to sell to someone specifically, but rather I just use the liquidity pool and I get what I want, my ADA or my token, in exchange for the other token. Now, I don't want to talk about directly Maladex. That's not really the point of the video. I'm going to do a separate video on Maladex for sure. They have a lot to talk about, and I don't think many people really know about them. They are lacking in some departments when it comes to user interface and user experience, but as far as I can tell, the research and what they've done directly goes in line with a lot of Cardano's ethos. And I do think in the long run, Maladex has a lot of planning and a lot of thinking into different depths that other DEXs just aren't covering. The first one being capital efficiency. And of course, all the DEXs are looking into this, they're thinking about it, but at Maladex, they do have a great team of traditional finance natives and Haskell natives, the programming language that Cardano smart contracts are built on, and also a lot of other financial tools outside of crypto. And today we're talking about capital efficiency and how it can unlock the DeFi revolution. I will leave this article link down in the description if you want to check it out yourself, but today we're going to be covering it because I think it is a brilliant article, and there's a lot of points in here that make a lot of sense on why having efficient use of capital inside of any decentralized application can unlock a revolution of sorts. The first point in this article is, why should we care about efficient capital or capital efficiency? And it's pretty obvious if you think about it for more than 2 minutes. Wherever money is treated best, that's where it's going to go. Whether it's crypto, whether it's fiat, wherever it gets better returns, wherever there's less risk, that is usually where it's going to go, especially when most people aren't here to gamble away their life savings. Right now, pretty much all of the trading volume is not on DEXs. It's on CEXs, centralized exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, all those guys. And the question this article is asking, or stating rather, is how do we get people to come and join the revolution here on decentralized finance, more in line with the whole point of crypto to be decentralized, and get them using these tools that are being offered and actually are pretty good? Well, the answer is we have to make them better. And the main point of making them better is to have efficient use of capital so people can come over here and not feel like they're risking, not feel like they're going to the casino. They don't have to worry about impermanent loss as much, and they can really coast along with these systems and have their money treated in a very safe and also decentralized way, while earning money on their money. because most people, even sometimes myself, I'm on the fence about providing liquidity to a pool where impermanent loss just seems pretty high, and also the liquidity pool returns aren't that great, especially if you can't yield farm, and especially if you have to go through 30 hoops to do it efficiently. The average person is not going to transfer off of the centralized exchange to go to the DEX to go through 30 different hoops of yield farming to get a sizable return on a still risky investment. If you're confused on what capital efficiency is, you've probably already been doing it this whole time. You've been taking risks according with the return on investment, and the ones that you think are going to go up the most, that's where you're putting your capital. Or rather, maybe you're staking with a stake pool for the highest APY percent. Maybe you're going with the Sunday ISO so you can earn all your ADA and also earn extra returns on top. You're using your capital efficiently, intuitively. Maladex also goes over in this article that capital is the life force of the market. The more the market that the capital can reach or even create, the more life there's going to be in the market. Having efficient use of capital is pretty much good for every person in the ecosystem. Every actor who wants their numbers to go up, whether you're individual on a micro level or everybody as in developers and growth in the market in general at a macro level. Capital efficiency is generally a positive thing for any ecosystem. Now, right now, in terms of decentralized finance, there is a lot of faults, and no one has the catch-all solution for every one of these faults, but some of them might seem normal to you, and really they're capital inefficiencies. High gas fees on Ethereum make investors have to hold off on trading, so they wait for it to go lower. This keeps the capital on the DEXs idle. Inefficient automatic market makers, or AMMs, on DEX protocols tie up far more liquidity in oversaturated liquidity pools than is necessary, and this limits the capital's ability to reach smaller projects. The same inefficient AMMs create impermanent loss, where the price volatility impacts the ratio of assets deposited into a liquidity pool, causing an investor's total capital value to fall compared to if they just held the asset. The liquidity pool, it wasn't even worth the risk, and there is more and more inefficiencies that are going to pop up as we provide more and more tools as a decentralized ecosystem, but they are all something that can be fixed as a community, especially using open source libraries. And I'm not trying to fill you with hopium here. Obviously, a lot of these problems have big hurdles to overcome, but I do think that if the traditional finance world can have some solutions to this, then so can the decentralized finance world. Yes, it's going to be completely different and completely restructured, but there's always something to improve on in every little aspect. And I do think some of the ways that things operate now on DEXs can be changed for the better of the consumer and also for the lifeline of the ecosystem. Okay, so what is needed for efficient decentralized markets? Not just, what is wrong with them? Well, right now, currently, DEXs are awesome, but there is a inefficiency, and there's a lot of inefficiencies with them as they grow. Efficient markets simply need deep liquidity, equal accessibility to trading information and strategies. So putting the tools that everyone else has to the consumer, whoever they may be, and making it accessible for them, a wide range of order types, not just swapping, and high levels of market participation. So maybe more than 5% of the total volume of all crypto will come over to DeFi, and that will help a lot too. Although DEXs are groundbreaking in terms of technology and where we're headed, the current generation of DEXs use simple algorithms that pool large amounts of capital, usually too much to satisfy inefficient AMMs, or automated market makers. And then they create the potential of impermanent loss for every user that is trying to access, provide liquidity for this pair inside of the market that it's using. Whatever DEX it may be, pretty much all of them have this inefficiency right now, and that's okay. But Maladex is saying something interesting here. Both can be solved using more sophisticated LP models that concentrate liquidity around an asset's true value, which is the price it's mostly traded in most of the time, and that's a lot of most, and then creating deep liquidity for trading pairs without user inputs. Maladex then dives deeper into this to say to take advantage of deeper liquidity and actually use what is provided, a DEX should have a broader range of order types than just a swap, because not everyone is going to be constantly on the platform trying to make a swap after swap, and if there's not enough demand, the inefficiency starts creeping in. Now, having limit orders, market orders, stop losses, take profit orders, etc., whatever you may know, all of these tools will allow users to automate trades that would otherwise require constant monitoring on the DEX and them to just be actively refreshing the page or trying to push through swaps at certain price points when they see the price point they want. And this is more inefficient than if they had the latter, right? If they had ways of automating the system without being unfair, right? Because you could potentially write a script for this, but having it provided to everybody and everybody can use these tools is the main point here. And once that happens, there is more users on the DEX, there is more people trading, and in turn, this is reduced risk. It encourages more trading, therefore more capital and participants will flow into the market. And it makes a lot of sense. Pretty much every centralized exchange offers these tools, and that's because it's much easier to put these things together in a centralized format. But if this was seamless and you could do the same on decentralized finance, I think a lot of people would board the new ship that is the DeFi revolution. With these new trading methods put into place, people can use their strategies, take advantage of the market inefficiencies, and create returns for themselves. And yes, some people are going to lose to win, but in total, in circulation, this creates a much more fair market in the end, and it encourages more participation and more capital to flow into said market. In turn, having this system, and especially on a decentralized platform rather than a centralized one, creates efficient markets. They make fair prices attract more participants create more stability increases security, increased security brings more participants looking for low risk investments, and then so on and so on. Efficient markets continue, more participants come in, and all the better for the decentralized revolution. Essentially, the more efficient people can make use of their capital and also do it in a decentralized way where they don't have to, worry about their bank closing them off or the huge trading fees that are collected by centralized entities, the more people are going to make the jump to DeFi as the next generation of DEXs brings all the tools that the centralized ones have and then more, including sharing the profits of the decentralized exchange with the people actually providing liquidity and not just having one central entity, as I mentioned earlier, take all the profits. Lastly, Maladex adds capital efficiency isn't just about creating higher revenue generating potential. It's about creating an environment for innovation in a new space and expanding access to the market for as many people and projects as possible. And this last part gets my heart a bit tingly. They say, the DeFi revolution is here. We just need to build it. That's it for the video today. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Don't forget to stake your ADA with the Jack Stake Pool to be cool and to help me live in my mom's basement some more. Anyways, have a great freaking day. It's been your friend Jack. Peace out.